Hello. Hope you enjoyed the reading so far. We are in 1 Kings chapter 16. We're going to do 16, 17, and 18 today. And we're going to continue on with the kings of Israel. You're going to see Baasha is going to get in trouble. It's kind of interesting. Towards the end of beginning of chapter 16, verse 7, he says, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came through the prophet Jehu, son of Hanani, to Baasha in his house, because of all the evil he had done in the eyes of the Lord, provoking him to anger by the things he did, and becoming like the house of Jeroboam, and also because he destroyed it." Now remember, Jeroboam was prophesied that his family is going to be destroyed, and Baasha comes along and he's the one that destroyed it, but yet the Lord holds him accountable. Just a real quick point, we need to remember that just because the Lord uses something doesn't mean he condones it. And Baasha did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and just like the kings before him. And so he says, your house is going to not last because of that. Then you have Elijah, and you have Omri, and you end up with Ahab. And just notice that how many times through there it says, and they did more evil than all that went before them. So there is this progression of evil that's going on in Israel. Then you get towards the end of chapter 16, it says, in Ahab's time, Hiel of Bethel rebuilt Jericho. He laid its foundations at the cost of his firstborn son, Abriam, and he set up the gates at the cost of his youngest son, Segub, in accordance with the words of the Lord spoken to Joshua, son of Nun. Remember, we're over 500 years after the time of Joshua. Remember when Joshua destroyed Jericho, he said, no one's supposed to rebuild the gates. A city of Jericho had been rebuilt, but they were not supposed to be making it a walled city and not supposed to put gates. And here, the prophecy that was given by Joshua, it comes true. Then you get to chapter 17, and we're introduced to Elijah. And Elijah is the one who prophesies that there'll be no rain. And it has the whole story about Elijah and the widow of Zarephath, and the cruse of oil, and the pot of flour that doesn't end, and the death of her son, and the raising of the son from the dead. And then we get to Elijah and Obadiah. And Obadiah here is one of Ahab's administrators. But he's a servant of the Lord, and so he's protected their prophets. I failed to mention that Ahab did more evil than everybody else before him, but he also married Jezebel, who was not of Israel. And so anyway, when you get to chapter 18, we're not going to go to the details. You're going to read it. You're going to know that this is the confrontation between Elijah and the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. It is a fabulous story. It's the one where they try all day long to produce the fire, and it won't happen. And then the Lord comes down, and Elijah just prays, and the fire not only consumes the offering, it consumes the rocks, it consumes the water, it consumes everything. Elijah has this great victory, and then tomorrow we find out what happens right after that great victory. I hope you're enjoying the reading, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a blessed evening.